tenon. So we got a catch. So I'm gonna have to remount the bowl and put a tenon back on it. This happens every now and then. You get a tenon just snaps on you, and you're torquing hard. All right, so I've turned it back around. You can see how the tenon completely failed under that high torque. So I'm gonna have to strip this tenon down, basically to off, and then we'll cut this one down to size back here. So we did have that nice big foot that I was gonna use for this bowl, and we can still probably cut one in, but for now, our rescue plan is to get rid of the broken tenon and see what we can recover with. Show you what we've done here. So I'm just using arm pressure to hold this bowl like there. Flip it around. You see I was just using the old one-way chuck here as my primary jam chuck. So I can turn it around, it's nice and round. We have a nice round thing here to try to center it. I know you can't get it absolutely perfect when you're doing that. So I need to get that down to 5.5 inches. I was really hoping I could get away with 6, but I cannot. So, 3/4. Come back down into there. And that should give us what we need for our second try here. Over 1/4 inch deep. Could go a little bit deeper. I'm gonna go ahead and flatten this part out up here so we get a nice flat face for the jaws. Let's tighten up that dovetail. With the pointy tool. Alright, that should fit in our big jaws back here now. I just need one extra pair of hands. If I was an octopus, I'd be a superior turner. Again, I'm leaving that in and being very mindful of the fact that I have the center in there. I think that this particular won't have a big enough hole in the middle. Oh, there goes the chuck key. So I'm going to have to chisel off that bottom again real quick. Take me just a second. Some of my chucks have a really nice big opening that allow you to have a little nub like this to keep it on. I hate losing my center. It makes me sad when I lose a perfectly designed place to put it back on if I have to flip it around again. I'm sure there's some solutions for that. I just haven't come up with any of them. Just grabbing the chuck in my mallet. And I know you've seen me make a whole bunch of cool wood mallets, and I don't use one in my own shop. Just haven't, they're always so pretty. I just stick with my old rubber mallet. Can't be Harbor Freight, right? And again, just a nice sharp chisel will take care of all the little problems you have here. I know that Marples, if I recall, was purchased by Stanley, but these are the old Sheffield, England Marples ones. I bought these back in the 90s, actually. I was so enamored with a buddy of mine who's a wood turner and a really good craftsman. He was showing me how to use a chisel, how to sharpen a chisel, and none of the stuff I'd ever learned as a kid or in shop or anything like that. And I saw his chisels, and he told me they were the best. So, of course, at that age, I had to have what my mentor had, or I wouldn't be happy. I'm sure you can all relate to the. We used to call it GAS, gear acquisition syndrome. So you get into this part where you're just constantly acquiring new tools and stuff instead of learning, taking the time to master the ones you have and learning that buying a new tool will not necessarily make you a better craftsman. Putting the hours in with the tools you have will make you a better craftsman. Okay. Should look pretty good there. You can tell we're a little bit out of rounds, so when we reset up with the coring jig, it's going to be a challenge. We want to make sure that we don't care if this gets a little out of round because we're perfectly round in here. So if we lose a little thickness somewhere, but we want to make sure we have enough good material here for our two big bowls, the money bowls, right? So